Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the I Am CEO podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Emil Abedian of Anchor Bookkeeping. Emil, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Gresh. Pleasure being here.
No problem. Super excited to have you on. And Emil, wanted to read a little bit more about Emil so you can hear about all the awesome things that he's doing. And Emil of Anchor Bookkeeping, founder and chief executive officer, is a chief public accountant and partner of a CPA firm, a premier boutique accounting firm in the Los Angeles area offering business consulting, accounting, and tax services for small to mid-sized businesses. After working alongside frustrated small businesses for more than a decade, Emil founded Anchor Bookkeeping in 2018, recognizing a need in the market for affordable yet personalized one-on-one bookkeeping services for small business owners. Emil, are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
I am ready, Gresh. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So to kick everything off, I want to hear a little bit more about what I call your CEO story and what led you to start your business.
I've been doing this for quite some time. I started my CPA firm about 10 years ago, and prior to that, I worked with at firms and all that. But the main reason I founded Anchor Bookkeeping, Gresh, is because I want to create a bookkeeping or accounting solution for the smallest businesses. And when I say smallest businesses, I refer to really micro companies, 50, 100, 2, 3, $400,000 revenue, annual revenue clients. And I wanted these kind of businesses to have the same kind of access that larger $1 million companies have to their CPAs and consultants throughout the year, but yet at a affordable monthly flat fee. So they know exactly what they're getting at what cost. So this is really why I wanted to create Anchor Bookkeeping. And as I mentioned, I've been working with these businesses for over a decade, close to 15 years. And I see the issues and problems they're facing on a daily basis, whether it's with their marketing or accounting or how to get funding or even management issues they're facing. Obviously, I can't help them with all of these things. It's not my specialty. But if I can do just what I do best, which is accounting, and I can help them with that portion, that will make me happy. That's the goal with Anchor Bookkeeping. That's why I started it.
Nice. And I'm sure that definitely also makes them happy as well, because I think that there's so many different things that you have to juggle whenever you're starting a business, that if you can take even just one of those balls and put it into an expert's hands and be able to make sure that you don't have to worry about that, it helps out tremendously as far as like being able to focus on those other things.
That's the idea. Exactly.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. And I appreciate the fact, too, because you have that mastery of your specific industry. And you've been working in it, as you said, for like 15 years. So to be able to kind of see what the strengths and weaknesses or opportunities are within that industry, because you've been in there, you've been working with these, entrepreneurs and business owners. So I always have said that it seems like the ability to take what is maybe an expensive service and be able to make it commonplace or affordable for everybody is really where a lot of opportunities lie. So it's kind of great to hear you doing that with Anchor.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So I wanted to drill down a little bit deeper. Could you tell us a little bit more about Anchor? Tell us, if somebody wants to get started, how exactly they should do that.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, it's straightforward. We provide bookkeeping services mainly, strictly, really. We're not a software company where the business owner have to subscribe to it to do their own bookkeeping. We want to simplify the bookkeeping process for the smallest business owners, and by utilizing the technology. We're utilizing technology to do that for our business owners. And as I mentioned, we're a bookkeeping company. We provide each business that we work with their own dedicated bookkeeper, our in-house Glendale-based, California-based bookkeepers who does their bookkeeping, prepare the financial statements ongoing basis, on monthly basis, and just upload those financial statements back to the client's portal on our website so they have access to it any given time. Whenever they need it, if they needed to sit down to talk to their CPA for tax planning purpose, or just if the bank requires it. So they have access to it any given time, basically. And not only that, we provide them with the financials and the bookkeeping. Their dedicated bookkeeper is available at any given time for them, just through a chat, text, email, or just a phone call away. So they just pick up the phone and call their dedicated bookkeeper. Bookkeeper has done their bookkeeping. They know exactly what they've gone through. It's not just a customer service person just picking up the phone. That you have to explain the entire process. So you work very closely with your own bookkeeper throughout the year, and as long as you're with Anchor Bookkeeping.
Nice. I definitely appreciate that motto, and definitely, correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of feel like with especially accounting and understanding your books, it's, definitely obviously the science to doing it, but I feel like it's also an art. So I feel like that's a really great advantage to be able to talk to your regular bookkeeper where you can kind of tap into their expertise and understand exactly if you should do, A, B, and C, and why exactly you should do that, or vice versa, because sometimes when you just have the system, you don't really get that expertise. That's
the problem, Grish, that we see with a lot of small business owners. They might have bookkeepers doing the work for them, but they don't understand the numbers. You got to understand your numbers to make smart decisions about your own business, or they might just get a software who does that does the work for them, which I don't think it does the work, but they think that it does it. But you got to understand it. You got to have support in your team who can explain it to you. Why did this number go up and down throughout the year? So you understand what's going on to make wise decisions. But not only that, IRS requires it and different government agencies requires it. But just for your growth purpose, you need to know your numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. You understand, obviously no one wants to ever get in any hot water. So you stay away from that. But at the same time, to be able to think about your business, not just today, but also, 5, 10 years, 15 years down the line, it's important that you kind of take those steps in the very beginning. So I appreciate you for making that accessible to at affordable rate for, small to medium sized businesses. And do you consider that to be like what I would call like your secret sauce? And it could be for you or it could be for your organization, but the thing that kind of sets you apart.
That's part of it. Yes. Talking to small business owners, a lot of them think that bookkeeping is the same thing as data entry. And unfortunately, there's a lot of bookkeepers out there, quote unquote, that just does data entry. They enter the data and then send it over to the client or the client CPA for tax return preparation, and it's their own responsibility. I did my part. I'm just a bookkeeper. We don't see it that way. What I see, bookkeeping is more than that. It's accounting, it's financial statements. And when you do your own accounting for your personal finances, a lot of people do budgeting and put together some numbers, income and expenses for your own personal finances. You can do it the way you want to because no one looks at it. As long as you understand it, that's perfectly fine. But when it comes to business accounting and bookkeeping, not only that you got to understand the numbers, your CPA has to understand it because he or she will have to prepare the tax return. But more importantly, the IRS needs to understand it. The IRS has their own ways of putting the numbers together and putting into the tax return. So you have to make sure all three people, you, your CPA, tax preparer, whoever does that, and more importantly, the IRS understand it. And that's what we do. We've been doing this, as I mentioned, for 10, 15 years now. And we know what IRS is looking for and what they want. And that's what we provide our small business owners. So, and not only to them, we provide it to their CPAs also. And the CPAs or the client can contact us any given time with any questions. We have a lot of CPAs contacting us during the tax season, asking us questions about the financials, and our bookkeepers are right there responding to them, again, through chat, text, phone, however they want to contact us. Doesn't matter for us. And that's what I would say is our secret sauce. We're there for our client. We just don't do the work and shift it over to them. We continue the relationship and explain it to them, the CPA, and prepare it in a way that IRS wants it and understands it. That's what I think would be our secret sauce in this case.
Nice. No, I definitely appreciate that because I think a lot of times, I always talk about communication just on a general level. It's like a lot of people don't realize like communication is all about the person on the other end understanding. So just like you were talking about where you have the numbers, you have that raw data, but does the CPA understand it? Does the business owner understand it? Does the IRS understand it? Is it in alignment with all those different things? So to be able to kind of translate that and make sure that, everybody is on the same page is definitely important. So I appreciate that perspective and that perspective of your secret sauce. So I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
That's a good one. And as an entrepreneur, days are going up and down. Your motivation level is going up and down from one day to another. One day you get a great idea, you're burning, you're flying high, you can't sleep at night. It's excellent. And then a couple of weeks later, or even a few days later, life sucks. You don't know how you're going to cover your next payroll, and you're losing your business. It goes up and down like a roller coaster. And I'm sure you talk to all the CEOs all the time, and you know how it is, which is fine. That's part of it. That's part of the business, and because you put a lot of time and effort in it, it's a lot of energy, and it goes up and down. But you got to do things to kind of keep your motivation level up at as much as possible. Obviously, it's normal for it to go down once in a while, but we can't afford losing momentum. We got to keep working as business owners and entrepreneurs. And what I do for myself and for my business is keep reading books. Sorry, let me correct myself. I don't read, I listen to books. So I listen to books all the time. I'm in the car all the time. So while I'm driving, I listen to books at the gym or just when I'm out walking. So that keeps me going.
Nice. I definitely appreciate that. And I'm a loyal subscriber to Audible, so I'm always listening to books as well, too. And I think it's funny when you put it in perspective. I read a quote or something that said that, you pay, maybe $25 or whatever for a book or an audio book, and you can get one or two nuggets out of it that completely change your life, change your business. So it's like such a great investment and great opportunity to get incredible ROI just by getting that small little hack that's within those things. Now, I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or a piece of advice. Or if you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
So the biggest advice I give to entrepreneurs, and really anyone, it doesn't need to be for a business, anything you do it right from the beginning, and look at the big picture. Look at the way you will scale it down the line. So if you want to scale the business, you will be able to do it. It's all up to you, and you will get there sooner or later. So you would rather do it right from the beginning than digging into it and go back and try to fix it later on. That will save you a lot of time and money down the line. That's my biggest advice I can give to anyone starting a business or in life in general.
Nice. I definitely appreciate that nugget, because a lot of times, you kind of don't put as much emphasis or understand how important it is putting processes and systems in until you start getting further along. And then you want to put those things in place. But, being able to tap into, your expertise as well, too, as far as like how to do that is definitely huge, because you understand that this is how you would want to build like Anchor bookkeeping now. So you understand from that experience exactly how you want to do that. So it's important to kind of tap into those words of wisdom and that expertise.
Exactly.
Nice. And now I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on this show. So Emil, what does being a CEO mean to you?
As a CEO, you have a lot of responsibilities, duties. Obviously, you got to make sure a lot of things are taken care of the business. But in my opinion, especially in the service-based industry, the biggest thing a CEO has to do is have the guts to put your people, your team, your employees, your staff, whatever you could call them, first. Before yourself, obviously, that's given, but also before your clients and customers. I didn't do that when I started my first business. I was thinking that my clients are paying the bills, but that's wrong. Your employees are paying your bills. Mm-hmm. Without the good staff, without the good motivation and engaged employees, you don't have a team. You have individuals working for you, but that's not a team. That's not a business, according to me. So you got to have the guts to put your people first, motivate them, engage them, and get them involved in your business to get them where you want them, because that will reflect on the quality of the work and will reflect over to the clients also. So if you have a good team, motivated team that really are on the same page that you are, your clients will feel it, your clients will see it, they will be much happier also. So you have happy employees, happy clients, happy business, you're happy also. So that's my biggest thing. Your team is number one, absolutely.
There you go. Yeah, it's like a business perspective of what they say, happy wife, happy life. So it's kind of like the same thing where you take care of your employees and then everything else kind of comes into place. And it makes sense because, if they're interacting with, the clients, then all of a sudden you start to have, a better experience. They're getting a better product and they're having better service. And then it starts to just manifest itself, from there.
Absolutely. I totally believe in that.
Nice. And Emil, I truly appreciate your time. What I wanted to do was pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let our readers and listeners know. And then, of course, how best they can get a hold of you.
And as I mentioned in the beginning, Gresh, is, you got to do things right. And in my field, in accounting and bookkeeping, number one thing, get the numbers. Number two is to understand the numbers. Make sure you talk to your accountant, your bookkeeper, your CPA, whoever does the work for you. It doesn't matter, that they explain it to you, that you understand what's going on, because that's one of the reasons why a lot of businesses fail within the first few years is because they don't understand the numbers. Make sure you understand the numbers to be able to take the business to where you want to take it. And obviously, the way you can reach me is email, Emil@anchorbookkeeping.com. Pick up the phone, call me. However you want it. I'm here to answer any questions our small business community wants to ask.
Nice. Well, I definitely appreciate that. And we'll have your link to your website as well as your email and phone number and information in the show notes as well. But Emil, truly appreciate your time. Appreciate even more what you're doing to help out, those smaller to medium-sized businesses, those micro businesses. And, I appreciate your time again. I hope you have a great rest of the day.
My pleasure, Greg. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM360.co. IAM360 is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.